Week 14 brought us great football. Dallas, Bengals. That was a great game. It ended the week off strong with Cincinnati taking the win 27-20, and both teams are now 5-8, fighting for their playoff lives. They are drowning, but this week was good. You had the Lions beating the Packers 34-31 in the close game. You had Philly squeaking out a victory against the hungry Carolina Panthers 22-16. Kansas City Chiefs find another way to squeak out a victory. Is it magic? Is it refs? Is it the script? Is it in the cards? We don't know, but they pull off another victory and they are 12-1. Thank you for stopping by. I am Unknown Emperor, here to bring you my recap of NFL Week 14. This past week, we went 10-3. It was less games this week, so it was no room for error, but we prevailed, bringing our season record to 123-85. We did an amazing job. Thank you for all the support. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and drop a subscribe, drop a like. If you are not new to the channel, thank you for your consistent support. I'm going to get into the recap, go over who won, who lost of week 14. Let's get into it. As you guys know, we get started with the Thursday night game, which brings us to the Lions continuing their dominance as the #1 team in the NFL as they beat the Green Bay Packers 34-31 to go on and be 12-1, and they are still the #1 seed in the NFC. Blah, blah, blah. Packers should have fucking won this game. This should not even be a discussion. The Packers should have won this game. The Packers were so close to just winning the game. They could have just won the game. But no, they what? They let the Lions drive down the field, kick a field goal. Fourth down conversion. After fourth down conversion, I'm ready. I hope both teams make it to the NFC Championship game. Golly, Philly, go to Detroit. Philly is going to walk into Detroit but Green Bay falls to 9-4, and they are still in the playoffs, the playoff hunt. Or matter of fact, I want to say they are the number 6 seed in the playoffs right now, so they didn't fall out of it. The NFC is very top heavy. The middle is just there to play. We have two teams from the NFC North. Packers can still make some noise because they do have offense. They just came up a little short in this game. Next, we had the 2-10 Jacksonville Jaguars beating the Tennessee Titans 10-6 in what I told you guys was going to be a low-scoring game. I said this had the potential to be a 34-30 game or a 10-7, 9-6 game. And this was 10-6. This game was 10-6. Both of these teams are ass. They'll just bottom feeders, fighting to see who gonna be the #1 spot. There's not really much to take from this game as opposed to we got the prediction right. New York Jets lose to the Miami Dolphins in overtime. Jets put up a better fight than I was expecting, but Miami, like I said, pulls it off in overtime with a touchdown to Jonnu Smith, and the Jets are abysmal. The Jets are atrocious. The Jets are abysmal. The Jets are a dysfunctional franchise, and the Jets owe Zach Wilson an apology. You pushed that man off, saying we would be better without him, and y'all are worse. Something tells me that if Zach Wilson was your quarterback, if y'all would have gave him another year to just, he would have probably rattled off a few more wins than what Aaron Rodgers did this year. Miami, for some reason, couldn't stop the Jets, but it is a divisional contest, so anything happens in these. So I'm not completely off guard with how close this game was, but they may do it. But what they did, I was wrong with this next prediction. This was one of the 3 games that I got wrong, and I picked the Atlanta Falcons to go into Minnesota and beat Minnesota. But that man Sam Darnold threw for what? 5 touchdowns, 3 to Addison, 2 to Jamar Chase, 2 to Justin Jefferson. They couldn't stop him. And then Kirk Cousins threw another costly interception, which turned the tide of the game around and let the snowball turn into a bigger snowball, which turned into an avalanche. Michael Penix is going to see the field sooner or later. They want to keep their playoff hopes alive. Tampa Bay can easily snatch that division. Hell, the Saints can come back and snatch that division from them. They aren't in a position to be messing around. And as I stated, the Vikings defense showed up. They offense showed out. And they stay paced with the Detroit Lions. That division is going to come down to the last game of the season. It should quite possibly come down to the last game of the season. Next, I picked New Orleans to beat the Giants. They almost proved me wrong. Like, the Giants was a field goal away from sending it into overtime. They missed the field goal. Both of these teams are ass. But we got the prediction right. Saints won 14-11. Oh, what did we just go over? Minnesota. Minnesota beat the Atlanta Falcons 42-21. So they put up 41. I told you he threw for 5 touchdowns, so you know it was a high-scoring game. But it was 42-21. Carolina loses to the Philadelphia Eagles 22-16. And quick side note, that's my team. So every time we go through these recaps and we come up to Philly, I'm always going to have a little bit more to say. That defense showed up. It didn't show out, but it showed up when it needed to show up the most. Leggett just dropped a touchdown. Jake Elliott. Jake. What's wrong? What's going on? What's happening? Like, a year ago, Mr. Automatic. You kicking it from 60, 61, 50, 13. Are you kicking it from the moon, the sun, Mercury, Washington State? Like, you kicking it, and I don't have any problem. Like, I'm mad that Sirianni didn't kick the field goal. He going for it on 4th down, and you want to miss it. I mean, and you want to, and I'm mad that he didn't go. He didn't take the points. Now he go for it on 4th down. I'm like, damn, I can't trust my kicker. Damn, I can't trust my kicker. Damn, I can't trust my kicker. Come on, Elliott. And I believe what AJ Brown was taken out of proportion. What AJ Brown said was taken out of proportion, or taken out of context, because he didn't provide much context, and now we're diving into it more than we're supposed to. The reporter asks, what is the biggest issue with the offense right now? Passing. What was he supposed, like, I get there's no issue with the offense. That was the politically correct answer. What was he gonna say? We need to run the ball better? You have the best running back in the league. What, we need to pass block better? Jalen Hurts runs in the sacks. He rarely gets touched. What else? What else on the offense can you improve? Play calling? You wanted him to throw the coaches under the bus? Or just be general and say we need to work on our passing game? We need to be more consistent with our passing game. But they squeak out a victory. They go to 11-2. 11-2. So they gonna get it together. They got a tough task in Pittsburgh coming up. So they got to get it together. Next game, speaking of Pittsburgh, is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They beat the Cleveland Browns 27-14 to go to 10-3. And like I said, they face the Philadelphia Eagles next week in the Battle of Pennsylvania. We're going to go over that game in our predictions. This game was another hard-hitting game between the two teams. Last time, Jameis threw for close to 500 yards, damn near it seemed like. This game, he threw a costly interception, which Jameis Winston is bound to do. Pickens didn't play, but Calvin Austin made up for it. The other receivers picked up. The defense picked up. Tampa Bay beats the Las Vegas Raiders 28-13. It's not really much I say about that one because this the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't really put too much stock in them. I put stock in the Brock Bowers. Seattle beat the Arizona Cardinals, which was another one of the predictions that I got wrong. I went for Arizona because I thought because they were the home team, they were going to walk it in, walk it out. Like I picked Seattle to do a couple of weeks prior, but they did not. They were overwhelmed by Zach Cabernet. He went crazy. He went tough. So they did not hold steady at home, and the offense and the connection and chemistry between MHJ and Kyler Murray is awful and needs to get better. Ooh, in the upset of the week, I picked the 6-6 Los Angeles Rams to upset the 10-2 Buffalo Bills, and they did exactly that in what is being labeled as the best game of the year. It was 44-42. The Rams beat the Buffalo Bills. Ooh, that was a great game. Josh Allen threw for 3. He ran for 3. Puka Nacua went crazy. Cooper Kupp went crazy. This game, no turnovers. This was a great high. This was better. This game was better than, in my opinion, was better than the Chiefs and Rams games a couple of years back between Mahomes and Goff. Like, it was better than that game. This game was amazing. And we got the upset pick right. So, hey, can't be mad at it for me. We had the San Francisco 49ers beating the Chicago Bears 38-13. Chicago has no offense. They had more punts than they had yards. More punts than they had, passing yards in the first half? That is wild. I could be wrong. I could have read that wrong. I could have seen that wrong. But they had more punts than they had passing yards in the first half. And the 49ers beat up on a bad team. They can still win that division. They're 2 games behind, They're 1 game behind the Seattle Seahawks. And I believe they play them again this year. So we'll see what happens. And then our Sunday night game was, like I said, dark magic, witches, voodoo, hexes. I don't know what you want to call it. But the Kansas City Chiefs hit a doink field goal for the win. So let me count down the ways that the Kansas City Chiefs have won this year. They won off a defensive PI, kicked the walk-off field goal. They won off of a blocked field goal. Team was going to walk-off field goal. They blocked it. A team was driving down the field to take the lead and win the game. In the final minutes of the fourth quarter, they fumbled a snap. It lands in the Chiefs' arms. Now they kick a field goal it bounces off the upright, and all the directions that this oblong football can bounce, it bounced directly into the uprights. The Kansas City Chiefs win. They doing their thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the football guides. I don't know, like I said, if it's spirits, if somebody says a voodoo doll, circumstances. They want the Chiefs to three-peat. They want the Chiefs to three-peat. And then that brings us to our Monday night game with the Cincinnati Bengals beating the Dallas Cowboys 27-20 in a nice game. It was back and forth. Cooper Rush is an awful quarterback. I don't know how they got the 20 points. And I'm confused. Like, I'm confused, but I'm not confused the more I think about it. That punt. So you're telling me, I guess when he touches it, it kind of negates everything else. Because if it's a fumble, then they, I don't know. I don't know. They explained it, so I have an understanding. But the more I think about it, I think I'm overthinking it and I'm confusing myself. But these two teams are fighting for a playoff spot. The Cowboys have no chance of winning the NFC East because the Eagles already clinched that. But they can still fight for that last 7th spot in the NFC. And then you have the Bengals who go to 5-8. And the AFC is a little bit more balanced as far as teams 5, 6, and 7's records are a little bit more closer. And these teams are a little bit more evenly matched in a way. So they have a better chance of making it to the playoffs than I would say the Cowboys would. But they are still going through an uphill battle. Jamar Chase shows off again in Monday Night Football. 2 touchdowns, over 150 yards. He went crazy. And Cincinnati goes on to yell who they, and Dallas is now going to drop down to 5-8. And Michael Parsons looked like he was finna cry on the sidelines. I completely understand. I'm not saying it as a slight. I'm just saying that they made a conscious effort to put him on camera having a meltdown. They made a conscious effort. But that concludes it. That concludes our Week 14 recap. We just go down and see who win, who lost, anything of that. I do appreciate y'all for stopping by. While you're here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know how your predictions has gone for this past week. And stay tuned for our Week 15 predictions. Until next time, I'll see you when I see you.